morning, please. I think we should start. I also have a good news for you that we're going to finish at 5 o'clock instead of 5:30, and that we are all invited. So I confirm that we are all invited by Regione Lombardia to visit the castle of Miramare. It's one of the most beautiful castles from the Habsburg Empire in Trieste. So we finish at 5 o'clock, and then we have to run to the bus because the castle, the doors will close at 6 o'clock. There will be some guides to explain us what are the beauties of the castle, and then we will go from the castle directly to the restaurant, which is not far. So maybe you can wash your face here or whatever. So, but tonight is going to be nice, but quite tough. So we have asked also the coordinators of the different sessions to shorten a bit, so that we don't penalize the last session. So now I will leave the floor to the first session. Thank you for listening to me.
Okay, good morning to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the first session of the morning. First of all, let me thank our guests, Nicola Bonanno, Territory Manager for Italy for Google for Work, Fabrizio Renzi, Technical Innovation Director of IBM Italy, and then there's going to get in touch via Skype Pierluigi Dalpino, which is the Director of Institutional and Industrial Relations for Microsoft. It's quite a parterre de roi, and we want to get a little bit in depth on a subject which we try to put all things into the title, Enabling Technologies Shaping the Future of Innovation. There are many concepts in there. On one side, let me, before hand it over to my colleagues, let me briefly introduce the shape of this kind of subject today, because it's so huge. We have to limit a little bit the boundaries. And by the way, we are almost it's something inside. Finance is global. This is given for granted. And data is global. This is the revolution, what we call Internet 2.0 or something. And also goods that can be digitalized is global, because they can be distributed on the same media. But on the other side, there's a change in a trend. Physical goods, the shipment, the volume of shipment all over the world on physical goods is slowing down. This year, the increase of physical trades and moving goods from all over the world is growing at a pace which is just 1%, and is still slowing down. So there's a digital world, which encompasses many areas of our daily life, compared to the physical world. That means goods, what we eat, what we use, and so on. And this sounds a little bit provocative in terms that the global markets probably are in a situation of being redefined. And this is back to the idea of regional markets. And this leads to our round basis, the emerging of regional approach. And this should be something that will foster the economy. Obviously, if we shape in a qualitative way the regions, we're going to be more successful. But on the other side, there's something that will influence and affect also the strategies of the big player in the digital sector. They have to take into account the existence of regions. It's macro regions. It's something that is not the actual internal regions of any country, or something that is just a set of countries. It's something different, and it's a part of our. We have to do here. We're talking about two macro regions: the Alpine space and the Adriatic Ionian region. And I think, and this is my first question, to understand if you agree on this. So the convergence between the digital markets and the physical markets, because it must be together, and leads also on the subject of innovation to something that we want to dig later. And tell us what can be your strategies, your investments, your business models according to this kind of approach. We have more or less 80 minutes, so I would I would give you 10 to 15 minutes just for the first round. Then we're going to have a second round with more specific questions according to your suggestions or your speech. Let be provocative. Let's open up our minds. You are here just representative of big players that see many tendencies all over the world, and this is a help for us to understand and to also define our strategies and define for all the audience regarding their own responsibilities how to cope with this tremendous statement, which is how to use technologies to enable innovation. So, who's going to start first? Nicola?
Can you hear me? Yes. So thank you very much for your invitation, first of all. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I feel the pressure of very high expectations. When somebody from Google talks about innovation technology, I know that people expect a lot of things. And this makes me really proud. And I will try to be a bit provocative as possible. And this was the idea about this presentation, trying to think what is exactly behind innovation, how technology is shaping the future and giving new opportunities. And what I thought is that technology is really transforming the way we live and the way we work and the way we will work and make business in the future. In fact, in our opinion, it's more about a revolution rather than an evolution in this path. And I try to understand what are the main trends in this transformation. And we came with the idea that there are mainly three. And as I wrote there, it's the internet, that of course everyone is using extensively, the cloud computing solutions, and something that is already starting to make the difference, but will transform dramatically the way we our productivity, which is the machine learning. But let's deep dive into this concept. First of all, I present myself. I'm territory manager for the cloud solution in Italy. So let's try to understand what actually changed and happened in the way we work in the last few years. On the left hand here we have how we used to work in the past, where information were very expensive. So companies tended to be very top down because it was not easy to share information, was not allowed to share information. It was a completely different approach. On the other hand, today we have a completely different way of work. We have different generation in our companies, organizations, institutions, generations that tend to work in a different way, tend to interact to each other in a different way, and actually are also motivated in a different way. A recent study on millennials explain how they prefer to make less money in their job in order to have a more informal environment because it's completely changing how we should run our companies, we should chase the new opportunities in business. Another trend is that we nowadays tend to work from everywhere. Work is no longer connected to a physical place. Work happens everywhere. Probably the downside of this is work happens every time. So we tend to work way too much, but this is another story. Another revolution in this transformation is what we all have in our pockets. We all tend to have at least 3 devices to consume information, to share information. And in a world that is becoming more and more connected, this is going to increase dramatically in the next future. Last but not least, global workforce. Working is no longer something that is connected to share work, interact with somebody in my office, in my building, in my floor. We need to interact with people that are all over the world. They are probably not even in my same company. They are partners, they are vendors, and they are scattered, as I say, in the world. So this means that we need new tools, new ideas, a new culture based on intuitive technology that allowed me to be productive everywhere in the world, across device, and of course that foster collaboration and sharing of ideas and technology. This is what happened in our work. Let's think about what happened on our desk. Everything got digitalized, but it's not about the fact that everything that used to be physical now is digital. It's about the fact that we tend to interact, we change completely the way we interact with other people. That means that it changed completely the way we make business with other people. But what I wanted really to underline here is the speed, the pace of innovation, how things changed dramatically in the last few years. Probably only the sunglasses remain the same. And what happened there? What fueled this innovation, this speed, this velocity in transformation? This is what happened in 6 seconds in the internet. These are all the contents we create in the internet in the last 60 seconds. And think about that, all the amount of information, data, contents that the human being has created for the very first drawing in a cave until 2003 is exactly what we create in 3 days now. So we live in a society of information, and as we said, everybody talks about big data, but big data is really the enabling technology that will shape the future, because it becomes absolutely key to make a sense of this data, leverage this data, understand this data, have a technology that is intuitive in using this data. Because the speed of innovation is also an opportunity, but might be a risk as well. The leader of today might be the follower of tomorrow. This is pretty evident if we took into consideration the S&P 500 index. In 1957, the average age of a company joining this index was 75 years. Now we are below 10 years. So things are evolving and changing very quickly. It is thanks to the digital transformation. And Google turned 18 yesterday. So it's pretty evident how things are getting so fast and changing so quickly. Since the day that these two gentlemen created Google in their garage, many things changed. And everything leveraging the new opportunities that digital is giving us. That brings another problem, or another opportunity, and something that's very close to the heart of our co-founder, Larry Page. Digital is an opportunity, but we have also to change completely the way we shape our companies, we shape our institutions, and we need to think big. It's better and wiser and easier, actually, to think 10x rather than try to have an improvement of 10%. It means that you need to be very bold, try different approaches. But this kind of approach, the moonshot ideas, moonshot philosophy, is what actually brought the human being on the moon. We didn't have technology back then, we didn't know if it was possible, but we had an idea and we wanted to do it. Stealing or borrowing another quote of somebody much more intelligent than me, this means that the culture, the way we think about technology and innovation must change radically. And because we cannot solve our problems or leverage the opportunities that we have out there if we don't change the way we think. But allow me also to add that we have to change our tools. And tools have to allow us to leverage what is happening there in technology. In this sense, at Google, we are super convinced that what is a catalyst of innovation is the active engagement. At our company means that it's important to have no hierarchical organization, but organization based on sharing of information, sharing of ideas. Ideas must circulate and create new ideas. But in order to do that, you need technologies and tools that allow you to share technology in order to create a consensus behind your idea and go immediately in a prototype mode. Try if this idea works. If it doesn't work, fail fast, reiterate, and start again. I think this is the only way to make real innovation transformation. But also, the new tools must be different compared to the past. And this comes down to all the automation and machine learning. We already started to push some of these ideas and technologies in our products, but we are convinced that in the future, all the tools will have to allow us to be more productive thanks to things that they can do automatically. For example, in our calendar hub, we introduced a smart rescheduler that can reschedule a meeting according to our behavior and agenda, things we have to do, but also keep track of the evolution of a project, or like in this case, of the idea of losing weight. In our spreadsheet, we introduced a kind of a digital analyst, personal analyst, that understands all the set of the data that are there and in a productive way propose new graphs that make sense of these numbers. Without that, I have to tell him anything. The same way in our inbox by Gmail, understanding the context of the email, understanding the interaction that I have with the person that they email me, understanding my calendar, my documents, what I've been working on. Out of thousands and thousands of possible replies, picks 3 replies based on what the machine has learned about my behaviors, of what I'm working, what is important for me. And last but not least, speech recognition. It's not about recognize the voice, but it's about understanding what we are saying, anticipate what the next word will be, understand the whole concept. But beyond technology, beyond this transformation, what we really think is the main takeaway of what is happening in this area, in these years of transformation thanks to technology, is that the biggest risk that we don't have to take is actually don't take risks. Let's think about that graph on the S&P 500. Let's take into consideration examples like Kodak. Kodak, only 30 years ago, was 120,000 employees. They were ahead on the technology, on digital photography. They just didn't pursue that technology. They preferred to go standard as usual, business as usual. Now, Kodak, unfortunately, has less than 8,000 employees, and it's become not a leader anymore. On the other hand, we have companies like Uber, Airbnb, companies that are completely embracing the digital transformation, not only in the way they interact with their customers or users, but the way they treat data. They understand their needs. They leverage a platform that scales. And also, internally, they use a technology that is exactly shaped in this way. They share ideas, they use tools that are based on the fostering transformation, innovation, and sharing of ideas. Funny enough, both Airbnb or Uber are less than 10 years old as companies. The main asset that they are leveraging is something they don't even own. Uber doesn't have any car, and Airbnb doesn't have any apartment, but now are much more valuable than hotel groups or any other transportation group because they are leveraging the opportunities that the technology and digital gave them. So in this, I would like to leave you with a short video that summarizes our idea of innovation, where Google is trying to have this 10x approach in completely different areas and directions, convinced that innovation transformation doesn't make sense necessarily. It's not following something that is obvious, but innovation transformation can come from anywhere. Thank you.
We want to create technology to radically improve to study and be inspired by science.
I'm currently combining medical research and computer science to improve breast cancer diagnostics.
That next generation of smart, powerful women, they're already knocking on the door.
Hey station, this is Google Plus. How do you hear me?
Soichi, hear you loud and clear, homie.
We try to push these challenging technologies to transform the world and change people's lives.
Now we're in uncharted waters, and what I'm talking about has never really been done before. But that's why we should do it.
Thank you, Nicola. Let me thank you, Mr. Dalpino, who joined us via Skype. You don't see him any longer. Before giving to the speech of Fabrizio, let me make a couple of comments. Yes, in the early 90s, there was a company called ABB who had the motto, think global, act local, because we share a common culture, but just a layer of common culture. Then we have the national habits, languages, and therefore those tools must be always localized. This is my comment. So everybody of us coming from a different language or a different country or a different set of sub-regions must rethink locally what is global, otherwise just getting frustrated of that. And the second comment, as a managing director of an entity which started in the late 70s, and now we're responsible for more than 100,000 square meters of labs, adapting is something really important. We developed different methodologies in order to address different kind of innovation, but then you have the physical impact, which is obviously had a different time frame in order to be put. So we always have to face the two things. It's not a case that Airbnb doesn't have any facility or Uber doesn't have any facility. There's room for that kind of innovation, but we need that also technology and digital technology help the physical worlds to go ahead. That's basically, just to give you an idea, Facebook is being in the process of doubling its space in, I guess, Cupertino, and the new building will be the largest open space in the world, just to share and have a common organization with different rules playing together. Now, Fabrizio, it's your turn. Then there'll be Mr. Dalpino, and video free, 15 minutes, and then we'll go back.
Okay, good morning, buongiorno. You know I own a jacket, I can remove it. I am Fabrizio Renzi, that's for Italian, has a meaning. Yesterday I made a selfie yesterday with the man. Because we were launching the Technopole, there was the announcement of the Technopole in Milano, where IBM will play a role. Huh? That's something important. But I say I'm Fabrizio, not Matteo, because so usually with Italian they ask me, give me 80 euro, 500 euro, all this kind of things. Nothing. Remove the connection between me and him. Huh? Positive or negative, your call, I'm not entering into that. The reason I'm here, and I wake up this morning at 4:30 for that, is because I knew there was an interesting audience. And this audience is interesting for us for some good reason. One, because you are a diverse audience. I noticed during the discussion this is good, and we will talk it briefly during the presentation. And second, because research is a key topic for IBM, and with this audience we can have some cooperation, collaboration, the idea. So I want to share with you some ideas, and after the discussion I am available for a further discussion. That's basically the purpose of these meetings, to meet, and to discuss. Yes, but for the first round, Stefano told me you have 2 rounds. In Olympics game, there are 3 rounds. So 2 rounds, okay, good. You have 2 rounds. I will share a little bit of experience sharing, and in the second round, I will share what are the priority of IBM research in this moment, and potential area of cooperation. On experience sharing, the first point is the following. That's IBM. Probably you remember when you think about IBM, you think we produce hardware. We still produce hardware. We still do mainframe. They're doing very well. We make a large, big profit out of the $12 billion profit every year. A large part comes from that. So, thanks to God, we have good mainframes. That part is there, and the client still love it, and will keep love it. But IBM has completely changed its business profile. And this has happened in the last year, in the last years. But what is even more dramatic is that in the coming years, 50% of the revenue we will make, we don't know where it will come from. Brutal, but that's what is going to be. We know that the area will be around cloud, cognitive, artificial intelligence, as we like to call, but basically, that's not clear exactly where exactly this comes from. So, how do you enter in this complex world? With research. That's the topic. That's why we are here, and that's why we have a big push within IBM for this topic. Even in country where we don't used to have a research lab like Italy, we are creating research. Technopole is one, but we will discuss also what we're going to do around Italy, not just in Milano, exactly for this purpose. That is to address, because you need to go to the client and to get problems. I love my friend from research, and a lot of you in this room knows what I'm talking about, because they love problems. Usually when I go to a sales rep, it's remove problems out of me. While research approach is give me problems, and the client loves someone that goes there and solve problems for me. That's a new way for us to interact with client. Brutally, but that's what it is. Now, the world is changing fast. We are in a perfect storm. And by the way, these are solar cycles. I read the fantastic book on sun. Some of you may come from astrophysics, so that's fine. But in any case, no way to control. Since Galileo, we have no clue of what in the hell is happening in the sun. So we cannot control the sun. How in the hell can we control the business directly? The way we have to do is to maintain open mind, and with open mind, you address research topics. This will come back. These are the areas. I will touch this in the next presentations. But basically, I will just introduce now health and food. This is the area I've decided in Italy as a priority area for this country, and for the area and for the region. I will come back shortly in the region. Cyber, of course, robotics, new energy, deep semantics, creative innovation, design, art, friction, health and food. And on that I'm working with client on call, on European call, on Interreg call, on whatever we would like to work together. These are the areas, so we'll talk with more details in the next. Just the last piece on cultural differences. That's the reason I was happy to wake up this morning very early, is that it was a nice period of my life. I was working in Dubai, then with the family as well. It's decent even for ladies. That place is decent even for ladies. They call me Lorenzi d'Arabia. That is we had a good time, but I worked a lot with Eastern Europe. We had a fantastic team in Eastern Europe, and in Ljubljana I had the manager working for me that was running this region, Russia, all Eastern Europe, and all former Yugoslavia, area, and all this. And this is important, and I believe that out of this we can build a lot, and I will tell you shortly why. Now, this is something I will leave you as a reference. If you want to know the Gert Hofstede, and this is something why it's important, is used in a lot of IBMer, because we are standardized by the company, And with that, you build the study on cultural differences. You take IBM, they're all blue washed. And with that, it's interesting. So during my experience, I've learned a lot. But the most important things I've learned is that out of difference, there is a lot to grow. That's why I'm also happy to be in this room this morning. That's why there is a lot of potential for making good things all together here. Huh? Now, let me share this with you. That is the following. Probably some of you knows the book of Nicholas Taleb called The Black Swan. Of course. And in the book, the most interesting things I've learned is that beware of normal distribution. We are on a scientific audience here. You know what normal distribution is, but you all know that when we start to work, normal was fantastic. Very good, very nice. It's very good to be in the middle of the Gaussian curve. Huh? But in the book, there is a very nice anecdote that was quoted, and it tells about a pig. By the way, when I was in Dubai, I could not use the pig, I used the turkey. There is a mathematical pig, and the pig knows about maths. So every day, the farmer gives to the pig 1.2 kilos of things to eat. In average, the farmer is a good man, isn't it? You are a pig. In average, a man gives to you 1.2 kilo of things to eat. In average, you are in front of a very good man, in average. But Christmas arrives and the farmer kills you. That in average is a good man, but in practical terms, he's a bad guy. Yeah, that's why we should always be scared about difference, normalization. That's why difference are the most important things. That's why it's important we make project together, because it's difference that moves the world. It's different of pressure moves the winds. A difference of forces move things. A difference of DNA, mixing DNA difference is a way to generate new life. Economic difference moves money, and cultural difference moves idea. Technological differences is important, helps providing competitive advantage to the business. The scientific parks like here we are discussing, I mean, with technological difference, regions can get competitive advantage toward other areas, help saving money, and by the way, saving the planet. That's the first part, and that's my view. Thanks for your attention. And in the second part, we'll share what we can do together. That's the why. The what will come.
Thank you, Fabrizio. And before handing over to Pierluigi, let me tell Pierluigi, who was not connected at the first part of the meeting, we want to talk about how enabling technologies or digital technologies can shape the future of innovation. The audience is a comprehensive set of people working in this difficult turf of innovation coming from different countries. And we ask for the first round of our meeting just to have your point of view, very free, on what you are currently doing, or what is your view of the innovation in different countries, in the different macro regions, and what kind of investments are you dealing with, what kind of business model you think it's important. So it's up to you, Pierluigi. Thank you for joining us, and 15 minutes for you. Just a second. We're gonna do this in few seconds, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Quasi. This is innovation. Cables. Wire and cables. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. We see you. We see you and we hear you.
Oh, okay. Important is to hear, and about the visual. I mean, it's important, but unfortunately, I cannot see you. Let me first start, because I need to do that, to excuse. I mean, to say sorry to everyone. I mean, for the people have been presenting before me, so to the panelists, as much as you, and the audience. But unfortunately, I mean, this is what happened with our great national airlines that put me in the flight for no reason, for this morning, and I was not able to be with you. But there is a lesson learned that human being is really at the center of any process, because this is, you know, again, I mean, that has been recognized this morning by Alitalia, that again, I mean, that this has been a main mistake by a human being. And, you know, and so beside my presentation, there was, you know, was probably addressing also some technical issues, but I need to start with the human capital issue. Because whatever, I mean, we talk, and whenever we're going to talk about innovation and research, is the main challenge is how to make sure, I mean, to position the human being really at the center of any innovation. Innovation that we keep saying it starts from mainly the territory, and innovation and research, it starts really from the regions, and that's what we experience on an everyday business and experience that we have with the universities, we have with the startups ecosystem, that we have with the local innovation and public administration as well. Unfortunately, I mean, what we see, and this is more a matter of policy, we don't see, I mean, a comprehensive plan, at least for Italy. We don't see it in many places. We see a lot of innovation coming from regions, a lot of innovation. I mean, in Friuli Venezia Giulia is just an example for the great innovation that has been put over there, because they were able to build a system. And the approach, I mean, was to leverage on human being capitals coming from university, coming from startups, coming from the research, and drive into a regional plan on how actually to bring some innovation for public services on one side and to help industries on the other side. But if I look at the national picture, and it is not only Italy, in most of the country, unfortunately, I mean, we go, we jump from an innovation to another one more at local level than a national level. What it lacks most of the time is the big picture on where the single countries are putting innovation and in which direction are they investing. This is crucial, because if I look at the IT system, if I look at the digital companies that are, it could be startups, it could be mature company. Unfortunately, what it lacks again is the level of competition. So how we can compete in a master plan that, again, it doesn't exist most of the time. And you know, our suggestion is always two issues. One is inclusion, is to include as much as possible the research, the university, and the companies in just one master plan. And the other one is the sharing, the info sharing, which is lacks most of the time. Where in Microsoft is concentrating most of this research and application and business as well is on the digital transformation process. What we are experiencing so far, and again here, the cloud computing is just an enabler, which is crucial, is fundamental. But again, I mean, we need that human being capital driving this innovation, and at the same time, we need in local investments and the perception that how cloud really can help the business. What we are experiencing so far is this great experience of having the IT ecosystem in touch with the manufacturing industry. So we're talking about local industries, and experiencing a new way of doing research and a new application that there are definitely instrumental for the business of these companies. We are investing a lot of into the artificial intelligence, because this is crucial for either the interaction between either the human beings and the machines and the technologies. We are investing on HoloLens applications. So actually, how we can experience an industrial process and an industrial manufacturing process, applying, I mean, most of the technology which is available today in the market. And again, here the issue is always how can you favor and how can you help the meeting and the dialogue between the industry realities, so manufacturing industry and the IT technology. One of the issues that we care the most when we develop our technology is definitely, I mean, how some of the main policies actually are an impediment for most of the clients to jump into the cloud system is how you approach the privacy and security. If I look at the security, which is probably one of the main concerns, except of privacy and all we've been discussing in the EU so far, is on security. I think we are a little bit behind if I compare to the US system. I always keep as an example the National Institute of Science of Technology, the NIST framework, which is is a group proof, is a great way, I mean, to get together for the private sector, the industry, the academics, and the governments in trying to give some rules, some standards, and being able to the innovation to boost and the research to continue to grow. I mean, this is fundamental. This is something that it's very hard for places like in Italy, for example, to have this kind of dialogue. So to create a public-private partnership and platforms that can really support local industries and university to cooperate and work together. Unfortunately, here it's very hard because we go from innovation to another innovation, boost from big multinational as much as we do, in agreements with the governments and with some regions. But what it lacks at the end of the time is really, I mean, the big picture. It's easier for us to get together with the institutions and decide where to invest and where and on what to invest. But unfortunately, I mean, there's not a macro objective. And again, just to close, I mean, the issue here is that we really need to have those clear indications on where the research in Italy should go, or from, starting from the experience that we have in the regions, and then, I mean, funneling investments either from multinationals and from the universities, open to the University of Europe. I mean, it's not talking only about University of, Italy in this case. Again, I talk to you more on the policy side, probably, but, very welcome to respond to the technical issues that are behind that.
Thank you, Pierluigi, for the first round. As you may have heard, our three speakers highlighted three different subjects: tech, culture, the enablers from Google, research from IBM, and people, and the decisions on many sides. So people that are part of the innovation, people are the human factor, which is the most important thing, and also at regulatory level, there must be people taking decision and given clear directions, which doesn't sound to be the most simple thing to be done. But on other side, JRC has the mission to let something come up and help our decision policymaker to set the scenery and focus on investments. Then there's the country level. By the way, it's a very complex situation. Innovation is like a way of being, a way of doing, a way of living. It's not just a set of rules. On my side, my suggestion is that every HOVU that has to cope with this has to retain on a strong methodology. Methodologies are the basic of everything. And there are many good methodologies that can be applied at a local level, but methodology is the ground basis. And then you understand what are the strengths or the weaknesses on which you have to cope with. On this side, come up here and take a seat with us.
Giancarlo Cratti, I'm the regulator from the European Commission. I'm also trying to organize this fantastic session and discussion. Well, we are, most of us are technology transfer officers. We are coming from governments, university. So we really appreciate your painting the background of innovation, the revolution. But our main scope is not just to make companies rich. It's mostly to find work for people. Probably, I mean, as Kurzweil say, we're going towards in artificial intelligence, and there is no other way, and probably there is a structural change. Economists say no. But what is happening, what we see today, is that if we create a company, since 80% of the venture capital is in Silicon Valley, there's a nice book by Andrew Roman about corporate social venture. Most of your companies, the big companies, have their own corporate venture. You don't do little research, you try to buy new ideas coming out, a sort of research, so you gobble up the little companies coming out. So creating a de facto monopoly and bringing this company into Silicon Valley. So it's a sort of, I would say, small companies are now incorporated into big companies, which creates a sort of monopoly, because so the big companies will still be big. So this is something, I think it was the Economist a couple of weeks ago, he came out with a very stunning number that in the 60s, the three biggest companies in the United States, mostly were car manufacturers, had a capitalization of $50 billion and about 1.2 million jobs. Nowadays, the three big companies, two of which are on the table, in Silicon Valley, they have over $1 trillion of capitalization and 120,000 jobs. Our function is to make people. So I don't know, this will happen also for you. So I anticipate that this type of problem may also come up. But I think it's important also to...
Thank you for your comment. By the way, it's so true that the question now is those big players which are used to be enablers or sellers of technology, what they can do for the territory except Silicon Valley. What is the trade-off they are imagining, they are willing to, because otherwise they're going to lose customers sooner or later. So I think that all of three will show us some programs. We cooperate with Microsoft here for a digital hub. We have some programs with Google. So we, in Friuli, Venezia Giulia, try to start with creating an ecosystem of different players, public and private, and then come in the big players in order to have a faster development pace. But now the question is, what are we willing to do in our territory, helping our regulators, or investing directly, or jointly working with some different subjects in order to help this rebalance of what Giancarlo mentioned earlier? Who's going to start? Nicola? Nicola or Fabrizio?
No, you can start it after the
Nicola.
Well, of course, it's a huge problem, and but it's also an opportunity that is very close to the heart of Google. Of course, the result of concentration, this richness in only few companies, is not something that was intended. It definitely is not the spirit of a Google approach. It's also true that Google is trying to push innovation and transformation, but also to transfer this innovation transformation in order to enable other companies. The idea that ideas should circulate is not only inside the company, but is also a mass for Google, for the societies and other organizations that are around. There are several pieces of innovation that are has been given for free from Google. Many people talk about big data and for example, Hadoop technologies. Hadoop comes from what Google developed internally, which is MapReduce, in order to cope with the massive amount of data. And then we gave it for free. When an idea of we created a paper and we gave to the developers and research in order to develop something on top of that. And this is an approach that we always try to have. In addition to that, we also make investments, not only to acquire the companies. In this sense, Google is kind of shy as well. We don't acquire a lot of companies. We prefer to create innovation and to foster the conditions for, and create a condition for innovation. And we do this also locally. We make a lot of investments in Europe. We have offices that are only based on research in Europe because we are convinced that eventually it will be beneficial for everyone to enter in this digital era. So it's not something that we want to keep, it's something that we actually want to share as much as possible. Of course, as we were saying, it's not that easy. Sometimes regions or organizations are not ready to collaborate or to contribute to this innovation. And the speed of evolution, perhaps there is a mismatch. But it's something that we recognize as an opportunity. It's something that we are already working on. We're making a lot of investment on this. And more in general, we are convinced that an open approach, which has always been the Google approach to any kind of technology, from Android, for example. There's a lot of buzz about Android, but Android is also a platform that we give for free. It's an open platform given to the market in order to allow other companies to develop something and give an alternative to customers and users. And we have a lot of these kind of examples. So I thank you for the question, and I thank you for the provocative, perhaps, comments, but I think we are totally aligned on this.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. Fabrizio, and what about IBM?
Yes, IBM, there is a first point. We have a different age, me and him. So the friend of Microsoft on Skype and myself are older than our friend here. Therefore, the Silicon Valley discussion, I fully agree, and now I will share some ideas we have. Applies more for some companies than others. But in companies like IBM, I don't know about Microsoft, I will listen later, they keep telling me, yeah, there is this interesting model of creating a platform somewhere. In our case, it's not Silicon Valley, it's in Armonk, it's in New York area. And out of that, you deliver service all over the world. Is, of course, is a profitable one. And my point back, as Italian, as European, let's say, in this case it's European, because I was telling you, is yes, good idea, of course. Let's do it on one side. Let's get profit for the company, that's good. But let's land people on the field. That's my duty here in IBM Italy. That's my duty here in IBM Europe. And that's what, with the head of IBM Europe, we are doing with the corporation initiative, like research in Europe or in Italy, are going directly into that direction. Because if you stay only in the traditional side, on the platform kind of side, you deliver service out of the platform, clearly, business-wise, these are generated more centrally. Yeah, of course, Google, as you said, you are younger, but I understand you are trying to land some people in the field as well, but you start already with the big platform in the back. In our case, the topic is different. We started with a lot of people in the field. The platform model now is calling for model centered somewhere. And the big fight we have within the company, and in some cases we are winning, and the help of the territory and the help of the macro region is important for us as well, to do a project together, is a way for us to work properly in this direction. That's the point we have after. For example, an initiative, and now after we'll move into research. An initiative like the one we are doing with what is called Blue Mix, that is an initiative we are doing with the Parco Scientifico Tecnologico, that is a development environment. We provide the platform, yes, development environment, yes, but for local people that creates application here or wherever they are. The initiative of Tecnopolo in Milano. Yes, we have the platform, but the platform will land in Cornaredo, 2 kilometers from Rho, there in Italy. That means, yes, some people will manage it from US, the cloud, yes, but by having the machine there, you move some of the people there, and I create a development environment for health application there. That means I will foster the local ecosystem of startup and people there in Europe, in the region. That's the fight. I understand it's not easy, I have to be frank, but that's what is in our mind. This was definitely a very good question that I hope will be answered by some of the discussion on the research unit. Research for me has two things. Yes, strategy-wise is a way to help in fixing this. In this case, I also use the term platform that now is so popular for research as well. IBM has a role in front of the client. They call us, tell us about the future, like if I am Nostradamus. Okay, tell me the future. I don't know why they got this impression I can tell them about the future. Probably because we invest $6 billion a year in research. We know in research money is not enough. Money is not everything, and it does not give happiness. But if you don't have, you are not happy. That's the same for research. Without money, no party. Huh? With money, you are not sure of results. That's the point. In any case, they call me about, tell me about the future. Yes, exactly. They call me, tell me about the future. Okay, good. No, but by doing that, I can do with my research. But what I'm discovering more and more, and I'm doing more and more, I can do by doing brokerage of your ideas to the client, and together we'll go together to the client. That's something that for us is very important. So I use this term platform. I joke with the term we are the Uber of research. We have our own stuff. So we have some taxi in-house, but we are delighted to cooperate with the research institution and bring them in front of a client for projects, research department of the client for doing research project. That's the model we are building now, and it's proving effectively. I will show you some example. That's, of course, is an open innovation model. That's my unit, and the reason it's working is that I have also the client that works on traditional IT with the architect that works on traditional IT with our client. In this way, I merge the two automatically. I give the challenge to the architect working with the client on traditional IT, do something on research as well. They are happy to do so, and in this way, I will merge the two, and I will fulfill this prophecy of telling the client about their future, where the future is heading to. Now, we already have, at this point of time, I have 13 researchers now, so I have 130 patents, and I have 340 publications. Some PhD, I'm hiring more. Now with the news project, I'm hiring 30 more. That's one of the reasons. Going back to landing the people in the country, I obtained from the corporation another 30 account for postdoc. They'll give to me, and with that I will start to sit. I will put them in Milano, but not all of them in Milano. I will be delighted to put some in Trieste. We'll discuss later on how to do. And this is something, this is part of the negotiation. We will discuss on these topics. And that's where I am. So 13 already now, another 30 I'm getting down. And of course I will connect with the rest of the big IBM organization, the areas. Now, when I had to position myself, you know you are a research, you know very well that research has a lot of, should I say, overlaps, because in research, failure is a must. If you never fail, you are not doing research. Come on, let's be serious. I play chess, and I learn a lot from the game I lose. From time to time, I like to tell myself I lose because I want to learn. No, I got upset when I lose. But you learn a lot from the game you lose. Research has to fail. If you don't fail more than 80% of the time on your research field, you are not doing real research. You are just doing basic things continuing. But from time to time, okay. Now, but we have to be focused as well. Within IBM, I try to position this area that, in my view, includes also the ongoing on diversity, also this macro area. This area, in these topics, to position myself within the IBM Global Research Labs environment. That, of course, we have Zurich, we have IFA, and we have the one in US. And the area I've selected is health and food. Food, because we are superpower on food. When we were living in Dubai with my daughters, they were speaking little English at the beginning, and they tell me, "Daddy, how do you say pasta pizza in English?" I say, "Of course you say pasta pizza. We are superpower on food. On other things, no." on nuclear, nothing, but on pasta, pizza, good. And therefore, we applied for a big kick call for European Union, and crossing fingers, we will see in November. I am supporting one of the two chain. One it was with Nestlé, one it was with Unilever. A lot of players are on that. Crossing fingers, we'll see what happens in November. If we win, out of that, I will get money for doing something serious on food-based research, going to the point, because KIC is for base research, 50% investment on my side as well on food. That means I will have a researcher on the field on this topic, and out of that we can run project together, we can apply for new calls, so we can do a lot of important things. Health, because health is here in Trieste, is the city I've learned from Stefano, Mark, that is the oldest in the world, second only to Kyoto. that is aging population is a problem everywhere, and of course there is a big area of activities. The other areas where Italy qualify within the IBM research network is what I call the creative innovation and tourism, of course. That's something is our real intellectual value, and it's not just Italy, it's Europe as well. There as well I am focused. I will put people, and if some of you is interested in cooperating in this space, let's discuss. Robotics, one of the good things discussing with Cingolani for Technopole was that I discovered that in IIT they are leading worldwide level on robotics. They're strong. They have other things not so strong, but on robotics they are credible. And the robotics is a good area, and there I would like to invest, mainly in Genoa, but we will see if some other areas of cooperation will come. Cybersecurity, unfortunately, there is, I don't even need to tell you why it is important. I can also tell you that IBM has a lot to say, and of course we are working in this area, and of course we'll do also research with the university and with the agencies and the people working on these topics, and that's a major project, and out of that I will get a researcher as well. If some of you is involved on the cyber with all the consideration of this specific area that you know is particular, but I am putting researcher there as well in Italy. Another big topic is new energy and to feed Industry 4.0, and I'm making good project with Eni and with other big player on the energy side. Now, Trieste can play a major role in health, in food, of course, in creative and innovative design and tourism, and I believe it can play also in other. Let's find together which area. Here in Trieste, you have also very important. I say Trieste because for me it's an hub, but of course I am talking about the region. As I told you, I have had a long experience in Eastern Europe as well, and I know very well what's going on the other side of the border. We still have a border, or probably not? Not anymore. We have a free zone here. That's okay. And here we have a big client like Fincantieri, where we are making a big investment, and I'm putting people, real people. I'm hiring real people for real things, because basically that's the other big discussion we are making with the politicians. But we are on the same side. I consider my role also a way to land the real people into Europe. Otherwise, the model is calling, the new business model, and it's clear, is calling for a platform oriented, make profit here with the joystick. We want to do this, and by the way, it's much more effective for making real. We are a profitable company. We are not church. We are not a no-profit organization, but for us. People on the field is important for making more business as well. That's the struggle we are making.
Thank you. Thank you, Fabrizio.
Grazie.
Now,
if any area, my business card are there.
Yeah, no. There must be some other connections after the meeting. The reason why we designed the meeting this way is just to give you an idea, and then create your own contact or get in touch with another colleague of those companies. Now it's final say of we call it carrettella in Italiano.
follow me at Fabrizio Renzi. Forgive me or forget me if Google lets me do so.
Okay, thank you, Fabrizio. Now it's Pierluigi. Microsoft is very active in this territory. Is a player we are working with on some activities, concrete activities. We'll launch the digital hub, so they have a lot of tools to help companies, startups. But feel you free, Pierluigi, to tell us what is the way you can help territories to grow and not be spoiled by some other territories. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The main answer is really to replicate, I mean, our success somehow. How Microsoft is successing in the countries that, you know, worldwide is the success comes from the ability of the company to create ecosystems and having partners everywhere. I mean, this is exactly our business model, and our growth it's really is reflecting, I mean, the ability to create new ecosystem and new partners everywhere in the world. And this is our crucial issues, and we always keep it in mind, and we compete internally. If I look at my review with the Spanish colleagues as much as with the Americans on the people living in India or anywhere else in the world, the first index that we always competing on, and we actually have a mission to improve, I mean, at the local level, the situation is how big is your ecosystem? How big is your ecosystem in the cloud, as much as in the research, as much as in the digital transformation process? If we don't create local industries, local IT competencies, or companies, we won't be able to grow anyhow. So I'm saying this because it reflects really why we invest so much in startups, but not only startups, I mean in new companies, young entrepreneurship. The reason why, because we wanted to have more and more local companies to grow, and for us being able to sell through them. So this is our business model, and we keep the research very separate for all this story. Our Cambridge Research Center, as much as, you know, the competence centers that we have in every country. We have in the collaboration that we have with the RSI Spark, for example, but, you know, the collaboration that we have with the University of Turin, the Microsoft Innovation Center in Instituto Boella, for example. We keep it separate, but at the end, I mean, we need to serve the local ecosystem and to make sure that the local ecosystem will grow up. So where is our dream? I mean, if there is a dream, but definitely, I mean, is to create big IT companies in Europe that will be European and they won't leave from Europe. The idea is to have some technologies will going to be made in Europe, promoted by local industries, using our technology for sure. So our activity, our work is mainly to make sure that local companies can work through our technology as much as our competitors' technology, but to make sure that we have new companies and new industries growing in the market within Europe, within every single country. Second issue is to make sure that we create the best engineers. I mean, in the future, coming from our universities, being in the position to live and to go. I mean, in the Silicon Valley or to any other valley in the world where they decided to invest, but to retain them, to be in Italy. If I look at the HR level, how much we are looking for this kind of competencies, but we probably are not investing altogether enough to make sure that we have researchers that we retain and we are able to have European researchers and be very proud of that. And then again, I just take it back. I mean, some of the words that IBM said before. There are some decisions that need to be taken by country. Again, I mean, decision, means taking some risk, but decide exactly which are the sectors that we want to make sure that Europe will be leading in the future. So thanks to the IT. Again, IT as an enabler, but where we wanted to invest. I think healthcare, definitely, because I mean, if I look at the healthcare, we have the best system, you know, Euro-wise. I'm not talking by single countries, but we have the best system and the best professionality. But I mean, unfortunately, I mean, we lose a lot of time in regulating the sector and missing the big pictures on how actually healthcare can be leading in terms of using most of the technologies already available and available since many years, but you know, making sure that we invest in just one main project. Then we have food and tourism. These are natural resources that we have in Europe, and we just need to funnel most of the investments, most of the Horizon 2020, but we have huge investments from regions at the national level. So my question is why we don't funnel most of this investment in specific research, leveraging on local industry, making sure that we can have the new IT sector, European IT sector, most competing one and competing to the US as much. I mean, for Microsoft would be a dream, because if it's going to happen something like this, Microsoft, you know, can grow because I have a role in working with these industries, and definitely with the reflection on the profits as well. We are not an NGO, but we can participate to a main project. This is something that it's working currently in Western Asia, for example. This is something that is happening in India, for example. In Europe, I mean, we are the best and leading in most of the regulation. We shape the regulation in the IT sector in the best way, and we actually influence the US. If I look at privacy, if I look at most of the regulation, intellectual property, for example, I think that we should be in the position as Europe to lead also on some of the technologies, but we don't have to lose the idea of investing in something which is clear and having a big pictures on where we want to go. This is what it's missing. Microsoft is supporting all this process, and mostly at European level, but through the countries, single countries.
Thank you. Now let me wrap it a little bit up. A sort of brief summary was just the idea to show how three big players think about the reshaping of and what they can do for innovation. What I understood is that digital technology is an enabler. We can use it just like a customer. On the other side, the players in that field, which is going to last for many years as one of the big turf of innovation, they are more than willing to cooperate at a local level. Different approaches. Let me tell you our experience here. We try to involve them, all of them, and sometimes at the same time, because they have to cooperate. We can use their visions, their methodologies, their tools, what they already invested and decided, their programs, how to. Those are players in an extended team, and they are needed. At the same time, we have to do another big play to let pop up what they're lobbying every single day at the country level or at the European level to create an agenda of investments on research and on technology transfer. Let's say what I call the ampersand, R&D, which is the less developed part of the methodology. It's very difficult for a company to get in touch with a research center with or without technologies, and the other way around, and this is basically our business. But we need to let and to do at the same level as a second lobbying action to let our policymaker know how much we need to have clear directions for any regions. Otherwise, investment will never start and will never be productive. So I have to leave you now with these questions because they are unanswered questions. But I thank you very much. I thank my guests and hope you have found this a little bit productive. Thank you very much.
We try to reconvene a bit earlier, if it's possible. Stephen, you say that because we anticipate 11:15, 20 minutes maximum, 11:15.